All right, so welcome to day 4 and the final day of the Red Velvet Bootcamp. Yay, we made it. You guys are alive. No one got arrested.
Not yet.
Not yet. I mean, there's still time. There's still time. Let me put this here.
You dirty boy. You just want handcuffs on you.
Thank you. Can you help me out? Thank you so much. Yeah. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, I mean, it's still time. Plenty of time before you go to the airport to get your freak on. Watch Andrew pull up. Like, you know what time is it? 10:30 a.m.? We could go to strip club.
Right.
Still time. I got a flight. I don't have a flight till 6. Yeah. Plenty of time to go to strip club. 10 a.m. They're open.
And I found a place that gives you a bottle for $100.
A strip club
Yes.
and a bottle of alcohol for $100.
Yes.
Open at 10:30 a.m.
I think it's open at 8.
I'll consider it. I'll consider it. All right, so yeah, welcome back. Welcome back to the last day. Definitely been quite the adventure. Right now, it's been wild because, you know, a lot of our Red Velvet soldiers and warriors, they had to head out early. You know, Anik the Freak doing his thing at a wedding, Lance, aka Black Bond. It's funny, so we got nicknames. All right, everyone got their own pickup or nickname or alter ego, and we were the Power Rangers. So and the theme of the weekend was officially culo, which means ass. You know, before we started, we were like on 3 culo, 1, 2, 3 culo, and so then it was like instead of it's morphin time, it's culo time, and then instead of being like the Red Ranger, pterodactyl, stuff like that, you know, Andrew Canadian Blue, Lance Black Bond.
Oh, yeah.
Mike,
Perfect.
yeah, Michael was MG15. Anik, I just give him the nickname Anik the Freak, because he loves it, or you know, or something with the pool parties. But Anik the Freak works.
Yeah.
All right, and so it was good. It was good. So now you guys have your Andrew Canadian Blue. How you do, baby boo? But Canadian Blue. So it's beautiful. It's fantastic. Super excited. So with that said, let's just do a little recap. So today is going to be, well, first off, yeah, so far, I mean, we learned a lot of things. We learned about looking good. We learned about how to open with value and how the key to doing that with a compliment is specificity and saying the word because. Those two things make compliments hit next level. Then after that, we know how to hit the hook point. The hook point is how to get people interested in us. Like get to the point where the conversation is on and it's flowing. We also learned that we gotta leave. That normally people be like, don't leave. But leaving actually creates that space for you to come back and re-engage at an even higher point, which leads you to the next phase of flirting, displaying your excellence. And from then on, it's a party. So today is just, I want to recap the weekend. I'm sorry, I want to hear about last night, but more important, I want to give you just a little guide for how to take this home. Because my vision has always been, I know you guys wanted to come here. I know you guys went to, kill it, Vegas, get the women here and stuff like that, which is great. And I like to think that we did that. And excuse my face on the recording because, well, it's been a wild week. But anyway, my goal, my long-term vision has always been, I want you guys to kill it at your house when you guys get back to your hometown. Because, as I said, like, it'll mean nothing if you guys kill it here and then go back to doing what you were doing before, back home, you know what I mean? A lot of times when people go to events, they go to an event and they go back home on a high. I'm ready to change my life. 3 months later, the high wears off and they're going back to what they're doing before. So today's going to be about like how can we maintain it, right? And the interesting thing is that the funny thing, the key to maintaining it is not anything drastic. It's just about a change in your daily habits and rituals. So that's all it is. That's all it is. But we'll get to that in a second. But first, I want to open up for success stories. So, Andrew, What about you, sir? Sir, anything that you were proud about last night? Success stories?
I just just trying, just talking to people, talking to people,
Mm-hmm.
complimenting people on their either cute clothing or a tattoo
Mm-hmm.
or if they had a funky hat or
Mm-hmm.
anything like that.
Nice, nice. I remember you said like one of your goals coming here was to just be more social with people. How do you feel
Yeah,
about that?
yeah, yeah. Seem to get there.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. Dougie,
Yes, sir.
success stories for you, sir. I mean,
Yeah.
I know, you didn't do much approaching, but I know you had a little conversation yourself, and
Yeah.
like any success stories on your end.
Yeah, just the fact I was able to hold a conversation, like a pretty good conversation with the lady from the evening yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
That was one thing. Also at the pool party, on both days, I was actually the first day I was giving out more compliments and they were well received. The second day, the compliments, I opened that set with the bachelor parties,
Mm-hmm.
the bachelor party, and they received me really warmly. In fact, he was my wingman there, and they received him warmly as well because he was with me.
Nice.
And there was one particular woman who was, to me, she was very attractive. I opened her up on the color of her over shirt or
Yeah,
whatever it
yeah,
was,
yeah.
and it looked like she was just there with her girls,
Mm.
and she really appreciated that. She just lit up, and that made me happy. It made me feel good.
Yeah.
Just giving that value to others made me feel like I was powerful. And it
Gotcha.
made me realize that I was powerful.
Wow. So the feeling of feeling powerful came from being able to see the effect that you have on people when you give them value.
Right.
That's why I love that, man. That's why I love the whole giving value approach and frame.
Right.
Yeah, it does make you feel powerful. Like, yo, I can affect people. It's
Yeah.
dope shit. Dope shit. Um, so what was working? What was working for you?
It's just just know that I can do it and knowing this stuff works.
Well, I love hearing that this stuff works. That's a
Yeah,
quotable.
it's one thing. It's one thing to listen to you talk about it and tell us what it is, and then going out in the field and trying it and seeing how people react to it.
And saying like, oh shit, it worked. I love it. I love it. I love it. So what was it for you that allowed you? Because I know you did like 22, which was that your high this weekend?
I think so, yeah.
No, no, no. You did 24.
Yeah, and then actually, we were sitting on the bench, and I said 24, and then he said, you should try and get three more to reach 27.
Yeah.
So we were walking back to the car. I did get to those three.
You got those three?
Yeah.
My man. Yeah. Let's
And
go.
one funny thing is that complimenting a girl, and I think it was her, I don't know, if it was her purse or her dress or something. So I said, nice person. Just kept going. And as I was walking by, I could hear say, I don't think she caught it right away, but then if I was walking by, I could hear her say thank you.
Let's go. And you got 27 in one night. So you interacted with 27 people in one night.
Yeah.
Uh, how many people have you, or rather, how many people have you interacted, let's say, in the past month compared to one night? Is it the same number, like new people?
New people, yeah, probably not that many.
So I love that. And what was it that helped you last night? Like help you get those numbers? Like what was working for you? Was it like a belief? Was it like a like okay, all I gotta do is this? Like what was it that was working for you that allowed you to do that?
Yeah, it's believed I could do it.
Just a belief.
Yeah, yeah.
And what was it that gave you the belief? What was your belief based on?
I think part of what you were teaching us and part of seeing what the other guys having success and seeing them
Yeah.
going out and doing it and then having good reactions
Good.
back to them.
So it sounds like you experienced a. It sounds like you experienced a like a perspective shift, a perspective shift or like a world shift where it's like, oh, this is possible.
Yeah.
Like seeing is believing, and like, oh, this is possible, which made it think like, okay, I think I can do it too. Was that it?
Yeah.
That was awesome, man. That's awesome.
One victory that I noticed as his wingman for the event is that at a certain point he approached a group. In fact, I seen somebody else approach a group of women, and they asked, or he asked, if he could take a picture with them.
Hmm.
They said, no, no, we're good. And almost immediately, Canadian Blue Gear went up and asked the same thing, and they were receptive to him and said yes.
Hell yeah, Canadian Blue. How do you do, baby boo? They like they like the flavor from up north. Yeah, my boy.
Yeah, they want to be kept warm by you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ooh, let's go, Andrew. Congratulations. That's fantastic, brother. I love that. I love that. Is there anything that you think, like, okay, I can do different?
Yeah. After I leave here.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Well, just based off last night, just like, okay, what could I have done different? What could I have done differently last night?
I'd probably shorten the gap
Between.
between approaches.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Excellent. I agree with that. Nice. Well done, big guy. Out of my way, Canadian Blue.
Yeah. I have to say, though, that I am proud of you for your effort last night. A very big difference from the night before. Very big difference. So, proud of you.
Well done. I like you to, for you, maybe make a note, maybe on the flight, but just break down what was the difference between last night and the night before? Because the night before, you mentioned like, oh, I'm feeling a little pressure. I don't know, like I feel a little hesitant to go out. But whereas last night, you smashed your like. I think the most you said previous to last night. I think the most you said hi to was maybe 12, 13, like the most of the whole weekend, and then you almost doubled it, or definitely doubled it. Yeah, more than doubled it on the last night. So there was something, a difference there. So if I were you, I would, okay, so what was happening on that day versus the other day that allowed me to step up? So really break that down because that's going to reveal a lot for you.
Okay.
Good job, though, man. My boy.
He
Doug,
did 10 before 10.
he did 10 before 10?
Yeah, and then before we even went over to the Cosmo, he was already at 22, 24.
Okay.
So he was just on it.
Oh, the other guys weren't even at that number.
Bro, congrats.
Congrats. Yeah, what I was speaking with Doug Hansme, who was I think the MVP of the weekend, and I would say I got to give it to Andrew. I got to give him credit. Not because of what you achieved. For me, it's like for what you achieved, for what other guys achieved, anything like that. But if I'm looking like, all right, I know where each person is, and for me, my criteria was who pushed themselves the most out of their comfort zone, and I'd say it was you. Uh, you know, I know coming from Nova Scotia to Vegas is a huge jump. We were talking last night. Lots of lights, a lot of people, lots of noise, especially at the pool part and everything. And so I can understand like, okay, that's you go from a small pond to an ocean, but yet you didn't recoil in. You still were like, no, okay, I'm willing to try. I'm willing to try. That attitude of I'm willing to try. I'm willing to try was phenomenal. And also, I remember, uh, you know, through our previous conversations, it was a challenge sometimes. Like, hey, like I would tell you, hey, Andrew, on your route, say hi to people. And remember, there was still a little bit of resistance, to a little bit of like a block stopping you. And so to go from that, right, to having a block stopping you in Nova Scotia, to being able to to engage, say hi to 22 new people you don't know in Las Vegas, and not only get someone to give you a drink, that shows a lot. And the key thing behind, like I said, it's my reasoning is your willingness to say, I'll try, despite the big lights in the stage. It was like Game 7, World Series, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna bring in the rookie, all right, and you were like, uh, I'm gonna put myself out there. I'm gonna wholeheartedly try. And so for me, that's why I give you the MVP of the weekend, just simply for the fact of your willingness to try, your willingness to, um, your openness. Like any challenge we did, I didn't at one point, I didn't get a sense of like, oh no, this is too much. Let me close in. It was always like, I'm open to it. Okay, whatever challenge, I was like, you ready, Angie? You're like, all right, I'll give it a shot. And just that attitude alone is what makes you a superstar. And I think it's the key, one of the keys to your success this weekend. So, sir, I dub you, Canadian Blue, the MVP
Congrats, bro.
of the weekend. All right, well done, sir. Muy bueno, sir. Muy bueno, muy
Thank
bueno,
you.
bueno. Muy bueno. Good job. Dougie, real quick,
Yes.
what are your keys to success last night? Like, what was some of the stuff that was working for you?
Just really doing things that were not in my comfort zone, not something that I ever went out of my way.
Mm-hmm.
For example, I mentioned that I see myself going back to a pool party, even though it's not something I ever even thought was my scene.
Mm-hmm.
But now I see myself going either with a friend or a chick. I mean,
Yeah.
just going and having fun.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Now I see fun very differently as well.
Ah, how you say it? That's interesting. So, how do you see fun now?
I see fun as really going out, giving value, and bringing the fun,
As opposed to, and before, what was your definition before?
as opposed to, I mean, my definition was very different.
What was it?
It was more about me and fun for me,
Ah.
right? Now it's more about fun for everybody. And everything that you taught this weekend, it made me, first of all, appreciate that level of character. Second, it made me realize why other individuals, such as the group of individuals I mentioned before, as well as my friend, how they come off so naturally and they're able to attract people so naturally. It all fit together. It's like, wow, these people are doing this without even knowing, but they're doing everything or the majority of things that you have taught. The difference is that you have broken it down to a science.
Mm-hmm.
But now I understand why all these pieces of the puzzle fit together.
Mm.
So everything just came together. It's just like,
I love it.
yeah,
Excellent. Excellent. Love it. Love it. So it sounds like what was working for you is just learning how to bring the fun. And it sounds like you were able to like you you found enjoyment and fun out of bringing it to others.
yeah, yeah.
That's it.
I mean, in short, I was able to recalibrate what fun means to me and also recalibrate what I see myself doing moving forward.
Love it. Excellent. Excellent. Anything you would do different?
Anything that would do different?
Just after last night, like I would have done this differently last night. Anything?
Yeah, definitely approach more.
Mm-hmm.
Also, do the because.
That's a magic word.
That's a big one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Magic word. All right. Just implement that. Let's be intentional about that. One thing. So when I was talking with Michael yesterday, and he was like, "Hey, my mid game is not sticking. I'm having trouble with it." And the big mistake everybody focuses on, like, "Oh, well, I gotta focus more on the mid, or I gotta be flirt better. I gotta do this." The answer is that not that you gotta flirt better. The answer is you gotta get better at opening, because with opening you get the investment, and flirting only works if you get investment. If they're not invested in you in the conversation, you can say whatever and they will be like, "Okay, bye." But when you get investment, now you have the back and forth. The example that I use is like, if you're walking down the street and a bum is like, "Oh, you're bald and ugly," you'd be like, "What are you weird? Okay, whatever." But now that we all have we have investment in our relationship here. I could say that looks like the Hispanic Mr. Clean, right? His head looks like the sphere in Las Vegas, given the competition. But you see how we're laughing because there's investment, and so and so, and the part of that is not overlooking the basics and being so quick to skip and fast forward. Like, listen, because if you do this right, like the way the whole process works, is every step is contingent on the thing before.
like math.
Like math?
Yeah, like math. The building blocks are subtraction, addition, multiplication,
Yeah.
division, and anything that's more advanced, like algebra, fundamentals.
Yeah. I mean, pretty much, yeah. I mean, the way that I think about it, it's like, the way I think about it is like building blocks, right? It's like you're trying to get to the next staircase, but you can't because you never solidly built the one before it. The reason why you keep stumbling at the next staircase is because, like, the problem was before.
That's a great analogy.
That's the way I think about it. So if you have, so if you can't get a woman to go out with you, like, for example, like when I get guys, I get messages like on TikTok, like, oh, what do I do in this text? And she's not ghosting me. Like, what do I do? My first thing, I kind of hate answering that question because the answer is like, at this point, you're fucked. Like, you can try stuff, but your chances are low. And so you're better off. The reason why you're better off fixing the real problem, which is before. So if she's not texting you back, that's because you didn't create attraction before. You didn't properly build that excitement. You didn't give her a reason to want to text you back. And if you have trouble attracting women, it's because you never hooked them. You never got them invested. And if you never got them invested, I can't get women invested. That's because you suck at opening. Because your openings either abrasive, too quick, too creepy, too nervous. So 90% of the time, I want to say 80% of the time, if you have a problem at one stage, it's because you messed up or you didn't properly complete or execute the stage before it. And the key is to master that. And it may seem boring. And the way my mind is this too. And I've been trying to reiterate this all weekend. I know we get excited. We want to talk to girls. We want to move over to the next step. But we got to look at it as developing a skill set where you work on piece by piece, where the objective is, I don't care about the results. The results only give me feedback on my technique. Where, okay, she said this. Instead of guys, like the mistake that guys were doing this weekend is like, oh man, nobody's talking to me, or, no one's really responded to my compliments. They're taking it personally and making it about themselves. Instead of going, then I respond to my confidence. Okay, what adjustments do I need to make? That's one thing I wish I would have seen more in the event, where personal adjustments, like mid-game adjustments. It happened like when we were working together. Like I was the one who pointed stuff out, helping make those adjustments. But most of the time, if there was any discouragement, is because people kept going on and not doing those adjustments. They just took things personally, like, oh, I suck, and then this is hard, and I'm not gonna get this. I feel pressure. Instead of being like, okay, what am I missing from the process? Let me master the process. And so those mid-game adjustments, like, okay, boom, this is what it is. Let me perfect this before moving on. All right. It's like trying to move to second grade, but you still haven't, or rather trying to learn multiplication and division when you haven't properly understood properly understood addition. You get what I'm saying? That's why they don't teach multiplication before addition. And so it's about, once you understand that, oh, multiplication is easy. In fact, like for example, what people do is like imagine like let's say like a 3x4 square. Okay, now what you learn at the beginning is to add up all the square. 1, 2, 3. You learn to add up those squares, but then you get to the point, because you master that, you go, oh, so 3x4, 3 times 4, 12. There's 12 squares. And so anyway, that's the point I'm trying to make, is that, the reason why I ask these questions is because, what do you do differently? And when you break it down like that, like you develop it as a skill, then you go on. Actually, I should have said something, but this will be like one quick thing that I learned from a friend, actually mystery, so it's not mine, but it's his. And I'm gonna make a note to myself to explain it, but thank you. But I'm gonna end it like this, where essentially there are 3 phases or 3 stages to doing all this, right? So phase 1 is skill development. I'll break it down. Phase 2, skill use. Phase 3. So I learned this from Mystery, And I thought it was a great way for perspective. And note to myself, I'm going to talk about it at the next boot camp. It's that in any process, there are three phases: skill development, skill use, and choice. Skill development is the part where you're developing your skill. The purpose is to develop the skill. You are going to crash and burn. You're not going to see quick results. You're not going to see, I mean, it depends. You're not going to see, but you're not going to see grand results, okay? This is not the time to enjoy the fruits of your labor. So this weekend was about, and I tried to fast forward it, but for the most part, like a good portion skill development. So you can manage your expectations. So instead of being like, man, I didn't go home with anybody, bro, you're here, you're in skill development. You haven't earned the right or even done the work to be able to get to that point. So your expectation is here, your goal here, or rather the mission, the intention, the end result, what we're aiming after is skill mastery / proficiency. Proficiency. What does that mean? Meaning is like if you go open up 10 people, a good majority of them respond well. Like that's skill proficiency. Okay? So like in all of your things, right? It's like, Doug, if I ask you to change a transmission, to change a battery, okay? Just a skill, you should be able to do it 10 times. Like, depending on the actual activity, because talking to people, it's a soft skill. Some people are having bad days, so even if you do everything perfect, they may not say hi. But let's just say in our case, you're opening, right? 8 out of the 10 people will open respond to you like this. Hey, oh, like that, like this. That's skill mastery. So before you like, oh, I want to start getting women and stuff like that, like, no, prove to yourself that you can do this 8 to 10 times in a row. Now, once I can do this, like, right, I can consistently get people to open up to me. I can consistently hit the hook point. Now we move on to phase 2, which is skill use. Now that you have the ability and the tools, time to play and go after the ones you want. To use it to get your outcome of getting a girlfriend, of making friends. Now you use it to get it. Okay? So, use skill to play, get GF, or whatever. Now you're in the phase where you use it. So let's say, so now you go after now you don't have to talk to, at this point now, you don't have to just talk to the low-hanging fruit. Now, like, no, if this is the one I want, that's what I'm going after. I'm not just gonna warm up on the janitor anymore. I'm not gonna warm up on the cash register woman. Like, no, I'm using it on the ones that I want. Does this make sense?
Yeah.
All right. Use on the ones you want. And now you're just going, right? You're going after the ones you want. So now in Doug's case, let's talk about, let's use an analogy of like changing, transmission, right? At this point, now, and skill use, now he gets a point where he now, one, chooses the cars that he wants to change the transmission and make money off it. I'm using it for an outcome. I'm using it for an intended outcome, okay? Does this make sense? Yeah. Use for outcome. This is important. This is, master for process, no outcome. Mm-hmm. The outcome is mastery of the process. Right. All right. So, outcome. So,
what's ironic is that the majority of guys stay stuck in phase 1, skill development.
Because they jump straight into here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They do skill 1, they don't master it, and then after a couple tries, oh, this doesn't work.
Exactly.
And then they give up.
Yeah. Exactly. And I'll say this too as well. It's, part of me, wants to. I'll say this as well. There's the velvet. I'm feeling myself side of me that's saying I'm the best in the world, and this is the best in the world. I truly believe that. But also at the same time, in my experience, from investing in certain programs and certain educations and stuff like that, you can get something from everything. Okay, there's hardly things that that's a complete waste. Like I didn't learn nothing, but there's one thing. And so if you're here, especially in skill development, and you're like, well, I didn't get women. Like, bro, yeah, like this is what I said. Like, for example, like during the weekend, I was like, oh, I'm having trouble doing this. I'm like, well, did you do phase 0? Like, no. So you did not master that skill of warming up. So, all right, like, oh, Pablo, Pablo, when I give my compliments, they're like, okay, hi, thank you, then bye. It's not really hitting with the women. Okay, did you master the skill of saying because? Did you master the skill of being specific? And they're like, oh, nah. There's your answer. So it's not that the thing doesn't work, is that you haven't mastered that skill. And things that, and I don't blame them, because this is like the curse of the beginner, that we're so excited for the outcome, we don't have that patience. So this requires patience, right? So I'm gonna call energy, patience. You need like patience and long-term vision. So you can know, okay, this is what I'm doing it for. For this one now, skill use, right? The outcome is I'm using it for the outcome I want, the women I want. As far as the energy that you want, now it's more of an energy of experimentation. We're like, well, what happens if I do this? What happens if I do this? Oh, this is what I want. So experimentation, creativity, and play. Those are the energy. So I would say experimentation. What did I say? Fun and play. Yeah. Oh, creativity. Did I say creativity?
Experimentation, creativity.
Yeah, creativity. Because now you get to the point where, let's say you're changing transmissions, where you're like, well, what if I change transmissions like this? Like, oh, now I'm having fun working on these transmissions. And then in the process of fun and creativity, now you develop something new. Now you develop something, instead of red velvet, the method, the Doug method, all right? The Canadian blue method, right? And honestly, like, that's really my goal for you guys. For me, I like my thing, like, I'll be proud if, I'm very grateful for you guys to say, like, hey, Pablo, this helped a lot. My dream for you guys is to create your own style, to become your own teachers, your own masters, because that's evolution. So anyway, that's the energy. Now, choice is now, excuse me. Oh, just going like skill use is using your skills to build transmission to money to actually enjoy the fruits of your skill. Now you get to enjoy and have fun. All right. Enjoy. Now choice is now that I have all these options for me. Now I get to choose which options make me happy. So in this one, you're creating options you're using it to create options for yourself and possibilities. So I'm gonna put that here. So use skill to create options and possibilities. This is when you start meeting multiple people, multiple women. You get to like, okay, multiple other dudes and stuff like that. So choice. Now that you've created these options for yourself. Now choose. What do you want? I want a relationship with her. I want this type of relationship. I want this type of life. I want to use these skills to choose the type of life I want to build. So now you simply choose from options. Choose from options. Yeah, choose your options for what you want. For what you want and want to explore. That's it. Now, what do I want now? I like her. I like her. I like her. You know, the outcome is to essentially now that you've tried a lot of option, is essentially now choose what makes you happy. Happy slash fulfilled. And the energy behind it is fulfillment. I'm doing stuff that fulfills me. You're looking for fulfillment. So the energy is fulfillment. Okay? Now, here's the only caveat that I'll just leave off with this. Is that when you move on to the next stage, understand, now because you're in a new space and you're focused on different stuff, the other things will diminish. They won't go away. So that's what I mean. Let's say, like, for example, you get in a relationship, right? You get in a relationship. You're not using the same skills as before, okay? And so what happens, let's say, then you're single again, and when you get back out there again, the reason why you're rusty is not because, oh no, I'm back to being nerd. Like, no, you just haven't used those skills again.
Right.
So you have to redevelop those skills again and then get back up the ladder.
Right.
Now here's the good news. The good news is that every time you come back to the beginning, it's quicker to go up.
Right.
So like, for example, when I worked with Anik, I worked with him for 5 days, right? To get him to like here, it took him like those 5 days to get him to like here, about 5 days. We got here in 2 now. Actually, maybe like in 1 day. So now that we're back around, boom, it took him 1 day.
Right.
And then the second day, he was just perfecting things,
Right.
right? And so that's the good news. So anytime you have to come back around, you're gonna get back up faster.
Right.
So that's the last thing. All right, so last things, let's talk about how to take it home. This will be the last things. All right, so okay, so essentially day 4 is about how to never lose it. All right, I don't have another piece of paper. Maybe I have but the way you never lose it. Here we go. We'll use this. All right. So how to never lose it. The way you never lose it by never turning it off.
Yeah.
All right. So lose it. Never turn it off. What do I mean by never turn it off? What I mean by never turn it off, I mean specifically, well, I mean this, is that guys only turn it on when they're going out, when they're about to see a beautiful woman. But one of the things I've been talking about, guys, especially in the car, on our way up, as far as warming up and saying hi to people, it's something that I'm doing even if women aren't there. So while it's on my mind, the mentality is I'm gonna be this way even if I don't meet women. Like, you want that mentality. And when you have that mentality, now whether or not you turn it on does not depend on something external, because like this is the way it works in my head. Here we have hot woman, and then we have you, so right? So you at your best when you turn it on. So right now, if you're telling me, oh, I only do it on Friday nights and stuff like that, then the only way that this turns on and you're your best self is if this is here, if this is present. And essentially, you're letting something external dictate how you show up. That's the equivalent. That's external. This is internal you. So pretty much you don't have control of yourself. So pretty much if this is here, then you'll be happy. If this is not here, you'll go back to your regular self. Regular self. Like, you see how that sounds? If this is here, I'm going to be social, charismatic. If this is not here, I'm not going to be that. That doesn't make sense. So what you want to do, never turn it off. The way you never turn it off is something we've been talking about all week, which is talk to everybody, practice to everybody. Specifically, it's like this. It's not what you do, but how you live your life. This is how you live your life. So, like for example, prior to the boot camp, how did you live your life? What was your average day like? Like, let me know.
Getting up in the morning, going to work, work all day, come home, have supper.
Yeah. And during that time, would you talk to people?
Few people.
Were these people that you already knew?
Yeah,
Okay, they don't count. Would you talk to anybody new?
not many.
Okay. So in your case, so let me repeat, you wake up, go to work, come back, have supper. During that time, talk to people you already knew. Okay. So what I'm hearing is that you desire new experiences, but yet we're doing the same thing every day. Like, what results have those produced? Like, has those produced a social life you want?
No.
All right, same thing with you, Doug. What was how were you living life before this?
Very similar to him.
And what was it producing the social life results you wanted?
No.
And so, again, it's not a shame, but what I'm pointing out is how you're living life.
Right.
This is the thing, because how we live life never turns off.
Mm-hmm.
We're always living life a certain way.
Right.
We can live it boringly or like in routine. It sounds like you're like how we live in life, a routine, okay? Versus how am I living my life? So here, let me ask you this: how do we live our lives this week?
On the edge, like really taking risks, doing things that we're not used to, we're not comfortable with, things like that.
And so then my question then becomes, right? How can you start living differently? Like with this question, how can you start living differently back home?
With intention.
And I'm not talking about too, by the way. Yes, I'm not talking about going to the club every day like we did. Because I know we got work, we got regular lives. But just taking this concept as far as like, how do we live it? So we lived it on the edge. We took risks. We were social. We said hi to everybody. And so how can you apply that to your everyday life? So if you take that, how will your day look different going home? What will it look like?
How will my day look?
Yeah, how would your day look? If you lived there, how you lived here. As far as dressing different, saying hi to people, giving people compliments.
I'd probably incorporate talking to more people,
You would talk to more people? Yeah. And what do you think the results of that would be? What would your social life look like? Would there be any change? Would it like
Yeah, probably some change.
do you think you'd make more friends?
Yeah,
Do you think you'd meet more people?
yeah,
Do you think you would feel better about yourself or shittier about yourself?
probably better.
Okay. Same thing with you, Doug. If you took this and applied this home, what would your average day look like?
Every day would be a lot more exciting. I'd be happier because I'm giving value to people. So not just happier on my end, but happier that I'm going to be giving out this
Yeah.
value, and other people are going to be the ones that are happy.
Yes.
This will make me happy.
Yes, excellent. So what I'm trying to get at, right? Because here's the thing, like how I live my life with you, like what I taught you guys is a lifestyle. All right, there's no difference between you and me, honestly. I just how I live my life is differently. It's different. You guys see me. How I live my life. We're everywhere. We've gone to supermarkets. And you've seen me make everybody laugh. That's how I live my life. You know.
At one point, you're at stage 1, just like us.
At one point, I was at stage 1. Yeah. And guess what? I'm in a relationship. So part of this weekend was working on my skill development as well. And which is why. But the difference is I was able to move quickly through it because, again, like I said, enough loops, goes fast. But as far as like how I live my life, and plus, like Doug, you've seen me in a professional setting. You've seen me in a chill setting. Would you say that there's a a difference as far as like how I show up and like how I treat people or yeah.
No,
Like
you're genuine. Like you are you.
I'm here, like even if I'm having a drink with Doug or I'm on stage or I'm talking to a woman, I'm still cracking the same jokes. You saw me approach, right?
Yeah.
The same jokes I use with them, don't I use with you guys?
Yeah.
So exactly. And so, you know, I guess here's the biggest takeaway. You know, people think that like, oh, to change my life, I have to do these things, like which you do have to do, absolutely. But all that stems from just choosing how am I gonna live my life differently. Perfect example. One example is just like how I'm gonna live my life. I'm gonna choose to not, you know, I have a style a makeover. How I live my life, I'm gonna choose to present myself well. Or simple, I'm gonna give value. That's if you want to simply start changing it. How I live my life is giving value. You simply start with that. Even if you don't change your clothes, even if you don't change your routine, it's giving value, how you live your life. And if I can tell you anything, that's what I'll say it. Change how you live your life. You want to keep this going, how you live your life. Because I guarantee you, the moments when you weren't working, right, the shit that go down, is because you were doing what you mentioned before. You stuck to yourself. You're like, well, what can I get? Oh, I'm bored. Oh, I don't want to show up. I don't want to give it. But the key behind this whole weekend was you gave value. Yeah. So essentially, if I can give you, and I'm gonna give you a couple like specific things you can do, but the biggest thing, the how to never turn it off, is simple. It's just don't stop giving value to everyone all the time. That's a secret right there. If I had to put in a positive, or I'll just do this.
Just replace don't stop with continue.
Yeah, there you go. I would go like this. Continue. There you go. Continue to give your value to everyone all the time. That means your mom, your sister, your daughter, the person who's taking your order, the lady at the counter at the airport, the person who's pumping your gas, the dude that you have no idea talking to, no intention of doing, even the woman that you have no intention, even the person that's annoying you. Give value to everyone all the time. If you make this your life philosophy, the world will love you and come to you. You will put out good into the world as well. So let me rephrase that. If you make this not only for gaming, but your life philosophy, your approach to everything, whether it's business, whether it's relationships, give value to everyone all the time. You do that, not only will you build karma and stuff like that. You build karma, you put in good karma into the world, and you might be making somebody's day. Because of people that like, oh man, this is boring, life sucks. You might be making somebody's day, but not only that, you're gonna see how the world comes to you because the world responds to givers. Okay?
Last night, I opened a set of like 7 or 8 as they were passing by this ring. Remember when we went down that long hallway, and we turned back, and we saw a group of older ladies, probably in the 50s, 60s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I opened one that, actually I was just passing by, and they gave her a compliment because she had a pink dress.
Yeah.
That was similar to this right here.
Yeah.
She didn't quite catch that. Her friend behind her caught it, and she's like, "Oh my God, thank you!" And she went up and tapped her. "Oh look, this is what he said about you." And then she lit it. I was like, "Oh my God, thank you so
You see the light up?
Yeah.
That's the magic to do the light up in people.
Right.
That's the magic. So I'm gonna end with this. Here's specific things you guys can do. All right, because you know we have about 30 minutes to get out of here. So, all right. So specific things. Ready? All right. Number one. All right. One. Closet audit. You're gonna audit your closet. You're gonna go into your closet. Look at each item. That means your pants, your socks, your underwear, your shirts, your shoes. And then you're gonna go fuck yes or fuck no. If it's fuck yes, it stays. If you have to convince yourself, it's a fuck no. Then you can throw it away, donate them, don't wear them shit again. The reason why is because you want outfits that if all your classes fuck yes, then anything you pick is gonna be awesome.
Right.
You see what I'm getting at? If the only options are fuck yes, then you can literally close your eyes and pick out something awesome. So you're gonna do that. You're gonna do an audit. Next, you're gonna start get style avatar pieces or rebuild. Rebuild with style avatar pieces. So then you're going to slowly start rebuilding with style avatar pieces. The simplest thing, what I recommend, is go to Pinterest. All right. Download the app Pinterest and type in your style. And then start taking screenshots or save them. And then now you know what pieces to go get. All right? Next thing is daily value. Which means make it a ritual. Like I said, every person you meet every day, give them some sort of value, a compliment, a joke, a story to one new person. Okay? Or hi. So your options are to say hi, joke, story, compliment to one new person a day. This is the easiest thing. I mean, of course you can kick it up and do what we did this weekend, but at least a hi, joke, story, or compliment to one new person you don't know. And give them value, okay? Do your drive-by shootings if you have to. Not drive-by shooting, your drive-by highs.
Yeah.
All right. Next thing is what I want you to do is review your notes and what worked. So review your notes, what worked. These and pick the top 3 things that worked. Okay? So number 1, number 2, number 3. What worked for you this weekend? Because these are going to be your keys to replicating your results. So you want to know, how do I replicate my results? I didn't do it like last time. There you go. So for Andrew, if you want to replicate your results, for you, your specific thing, like I said, your success is directly correlated to the number of tries. If you're like, Pablo, if you come to me like a month from now, Pablo, it's kind of hard for me. I feel like I slipped back. Okay, well, how many people have you talked to? How many attempts? Like 2. And I'm like, there's your answer. So look back over the weekend, your notes, and maybe sit down, pick the top 3 things that worked. And these are going to be your keys to replicating your success. So for example, in Lance's case, it's going to be saying, because. That's the key for Lance. For Unique, it's going to be planting his feet. So you get what I'm saying? Yeah. Lastly, we're going to be a little bit more social. So I'm going to teach you guys something real quick. I call it the 3-2-1 social calendar. All right? 3. So you're going to pick one place that you regularly run errands to. Supermarket, maybe like Starbucks, like everyday places that you go to. And you're going to either A, go to that one place 3 times a week, or go to 3 different places 1 time a week. So what does that look like? Either going to Starbucks 3 times a week, or maybe your favorite place to get lunch 3 times a week. Alternatively, you can do Starbucks, lunch, supermarket, essentially errands. I want you to go out, run errands 3 times a week. Make sense? Next thing, 2. It is special activities. Special activities are things that get you out of the house where you're with other people. So things like the gym, things like salsa class, things like a meetup. I want you to go to them 2 times a week or have 2 that you go to. And by the way, like, I'm not a Nazi about it. So even if you have one, at least one place you go to, then that's fine. So if, like, for example, going to the gym. Gym would be example, I go to the gym at least 2 times a week. That's fine. Salsa class, sometimes it's once a week. So that's the caveat. Okay? So there's that. There you go. There you go. That's where I met one girlfriend at a salsa class. All right? And then one, I want to call it, like high energy event. This is a week. Why? One high energy event a week. And that is places like, and it's going to depend. Like that's like, for example, pool party 1 time a week. The bar 1 time a week. And if you're more low key and maybe like the bar and stuff like that, just pick a place where there's a lot of people that you can go to once a week. And commit to this making your social calendar. Go to this every week for 90 days and use the skills. And this is I love this because this doesn't force you to do anything different that you're not already doing. Like, oh, I need the energy to go out tonight. Like, no, you regularly go shopping anyway. So just go there with an intention. This is your new club. This is your new pool party. So even if you live in Nova Scotia, the place, your grocery store, the place you get lunch, that's your new club. All right? Your special activities place, the bachata, there you go. So you're still being you. So you see what I mean? So 90 days. I want you guys to commit to that. All right?
But high energy, so bar, what would be the example?
It could be like a bar, a concert, a conference, a lounge, those places, like a beach club. Some places where there's a lot of people, usually a place that you go to on the weekends. Maybe like I know in LA, they have the Latin Jazz Festival in the summer. Go to that. That's great. So you could do that.
So any place to socialize, basically. Like
Yeah, a place to socialize. Yeah, so one, call it, high energy place to socialize. There you go. So there's that. So then we're gonna end with this. Andrew, I want to do a quick little before and after. So my question is, I want you to go to the back of your page where you first did your this. So, remember this? All right. So now that we're at the end, starting conversation. What were you at the beginning of the boot camp?
4.
After, where are you feeling out now? Be honest.
7.
Ooh, 4 to 7. We'll put Andrew's number since he's here. 4, 7. Excellent. All right, maintaining conversations. Well, for you, let's just call it. Well, how do you feel? Let's just ask in your ability to maintain a conversation or keep it going or extend it. So where were you before?
4.
And where do you feel you are now?
6.
Okay. Generate attraction. So for you, I know because you worked on something different, but let's just call it like before your ability to create attraction. What would you call it before? What was the number?
4.
All right. And then now, I know you worked on something different, but given the knowledge, like what do you feel like it's at now? Given what you know and now that you have the knowledge.
7.
You feel like 7? You feel like 7? Okay. And then navigating rooms and walking around rooms. What was it before?
3.
And now?
6.
Okay. So we got 4, 8, 12, 12 and 3, 15. 15 divided by 4. The average is what is 3? No.
3.75.
Is it really?
Yeah, I did the math the other day.
You are. Okay. 3.75. All right. Now we got 7 and 6. It is
6.5.
6.5.
Yeah.
You guys are good. Damn.
There's a reason I brought up math earlier.
There you go. So, beautiful. So overall rating from 3.75 to a 6.5 doubled. I would say this is what, 50% increase, right? No, 100% increase. We'll do the math later.
Yeah.
But like percentage wise, it is. No, it's a
Almost like 80% increase minimum. Because 3.75 times 2 is.
right. So like at least an 80% increase. No, I would say, but not. I would say almost like an 80% increase. Yeah, about 80% increase. Yeah.
Which that's considered statistically significant.
Statistically, absolutely. I love your brain. So yeah, Andrew, welcome to the party, brother. Good job.
Yeah, man.
Excellent. How do you feel about that?
Great.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Imagine your work has told you, hey, because of your effort, you get an 80% pay increase. How would you feel?
80% more women, 80% more friends, 80% more money.
Yeah.
That'd be nice.
But you have to use it though. All right? You have to use it. So, we're gonna end it with this last two things. First thing, what was your biggest takeaway from the weekend?
There's see that this is a way to improve life, and it's how you use it. It's
Mm-hmm.
you'll keep getting better.
Excellent. Excellent. Doug, your biggest takeaway from the weekend? Oh, I'm sorry, Doug. What was your score? So, what was your before and afters?
So for the first before, so I'll do them quickly. So the first two were 3 and 3,
Mm-hmm.
and then the second, or excuse me, the third and fourth were 2 and 1.
All right, now.
So I'd say the top one, starting combo 5,
Mm-hmm.
maintain combo 4,
Mm-hmm.
generate attraction, still at a 2.
Okay.
There's a reason for that.
Okay. I mean, I know because yours, because I get. But go ahead.
And then from 1 to a 4, that
Oh.
one's the one that I've seen the most growth with.
Nice. All right. So we got 3, 6, 8, 9, 9 and 4. That 9 divided by 4 is like a 2 point something.
Right.
Right. So just call it 2.
0.25.
2, yeah. 2, 5. And then we got 5 and 4, 9, 11, 15. 15 divided by 4.
2.75.
All right. And you didn't even like fully get into it either.
Yeah.
All right. So we got an increase. Nice. Excellent. Beautiful. So, real fast, biggest take. Oh, so you gave me your biggest takeaway. What was your biggest takeaway from the weekend?
My biggest takeaway was the fact that the amazing man that I see in my mind, I've seen how I'm able to draw him out. The fact that I've always had that potential within me. So now I've learned how to draw it out. So now it's a matter of continuing to practice so that way I can build that man that I see in my mind.
Excellent. Now, real quick, allow me to push the buttons. I know, like in our talks, as far as like the man you want to be has been tied to success. So my question is,
I'm not tying those two together anymore. Like if I'm like this weekend, I'm not rich.
Yeah.
I'm not six-packy, and I didn't let that stop me. And also mentally, it was never a thought that ran through my mind. Oh, well, I need to be this in order to this. So I feel like I've overcome that already.
fuck yeah. So with that said, gentlemen, we're gonna end it like this. So first and foremost, I just want to thank Doug. I appreciate Doug coming and driving, using his time and his resources for the car and everything. I genuinely like you have been phenomenal. We'll talk more, but I genuinely appreciate your help. You were awesome. It felt great having you by my side. I'm grateful for your time, your enthusiasm, your spirit. It's nice to have that backup. So I just want to first give a shout out to Doug and also being there for Andrew, being there for the other guys. So really, I'm genuinely thank you. I'm grateful. So thank you, sir. Secondly, I want to extend another gratitude to Andrew and the rest of the guys. I do not take your trust or you being here lightly. I know that you have to trust that, hey, this is worth it. I know that, I understand that, the investment you guys put down, taking time off work, traveling, and putting yourself out there in situations. I understand like the risk and the vulnerability and the trust that it takes, and to do that. And so I feel grateful to receive that. And I'm honored that you guys gave me the chance to serve you guys. And secondly, also super grateful because without you guys, I don't have the opportunity to do my purpose, right? Without you guys, I don't exist. And so I'm very grateful for all of you, your heart, your enthusiasm, your openness. So thank you very much for that. Um, the last things I would say is like, especially for you, especially go home, it's nice and simple. Your success is dependent on the number of tries. It's proportionate. More tries, more success. It's not, let me be pretty, let me like, that's it right there. That's the main thing. Of course, continue to work on your fashion, but that's the main thing. Doug, I didn't get to see like you in action, but we'll talk. You can ask me questions. And lastly, I want to end with this last story, and I tell it every boot camp, but it really means a lot to me. So the first year I ever did a boot camp, I remember being nervous and going through it. And I was excited. And on the last day, my brother, he goes, Kobe Bryant died. And I was like, what? No, he didn't. TMZ said it. I'm like, nah, if TMZ said it, I'm not believing it. And as I kept doing the boot camp, and then afterward I would check my phone, we went and got something to eat, and I saw on the TV, Kobe Bryant helicopter crash. And for the first time, I started crying. And I don't know why. I met the guy once, but like for somebody that wasn't really in my life like that, like I was really crying, and I really felt something about it. And then I just remember, and he was one of my favorite like athletes and just people in general. Him and between me and my brother, the reason why we loved him because his tenacity and things like that. And I remember his speech when they retired his jersey, and the part that stuck out to me that always sticks with me, and I want to part with you guys this like is he said that the championships and stuff like that, that wasn't it. Being an NBA, that wasn't the dream. MVPs, that wasn't it. He goes, it was the 5 a.m. workouts. It was the working out through injuries. It was the overcoming the doubts that could I come back. It was the 2 days in the gym. That's the dream. Not, I got an MVP, I'm on the all-star team. He goes, no. Like, waking up at 5 a.m., 2 days, overcoming injuries, that is the dream. And he goes, and when you understand that, you'll have this. And he was pointing to his jersey retiring in the Raptors, and he was talking to his daughters. He goes, when you understand that, you'll have that. Immortality. Next level stuff. And so what I say to you guys is that the dream is not, I'm in a circle with 5 women, I'm making out here and that and the other. No, the dream is giving value to everybody as you go on, developing your skill set, putting on good clothes and improving your fashion, talking and learning, okay, let me perfect, how do I say this? Me, myself, despite my thing, I still don't consider myself in skill use. For me, I'm like, all right, how can I perfect this? How can I perfect the opener a little bit better? How can I perfect this story? That is the dream. The talking to women, the enjoying the conversation. That is the dream. I want you guys to understand that. And when you fall in love with that, and you understand that, you'll be legends.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So with that said, thanks so much. I'm grateful. Safe trips home. Thank you for coming to the Red Velvet Bootcamp. I'll catch you on the next one.
For sure.
Stay velvet. Thank you, fellas. Thank you, fellas.